The sky over Varelia Prime rippled like the surface of a molten lake, hues of violet and crimson bleeding into each other as twin suns set behind blackened mountains. Rena Grovane crouched in the high grass, muscles taut beneath her thick, iridescent fur. Her golden eyes tracked the herd of horn beasts grazing lazily near the riverbank. This was supposed to be an easy capture, a demonstration of her skill for the incoming Earth delegation, a proud display of Nkari tradition. Instead, her heart hammered in her chest for all the wrong reasons. "Rena, the humans are arriving. 5 minutes." A voice chirped through her earpiece, forcing her fur to stand on end. "I know, Nara," she growled under her breath. Her tail flicked in irritation. No time left for subtlety. Rena surged from the grass with a guttural roar, sprinting on all fours across the field. Her long, powerful limbs covered the ground in seconds, and the horn beasts scattered in panic. She lunged at the largest male, but at the last second, her claw snagged on a hidden root. She tumbled, head over heels, and crashed spectacularly into the mud, fur plastered against her body. Pain sang through her ribs. Shame burned hotter. She barely had time to scramble upright before a sleek hovercraft descended nearby, its belly lights casting her in humiliating spotlight. The ramp extended with a hiss. A group of Earth delegates, clothed in neat diplomatic uniforms, disembarked, datapads in hand. At their head strode Ambassador Kellen Vance, a tall, dark-skinned human with steel-gray eyes and a reputation for ruthlessness wrapped in charm. His gaze swept over Rena's mud-smeared form. One brow quirked. "Is this the famed hunt mistress of the Nkari?" he asked lightly, voice carrying across the field. Laughter, not mocking but amused, rippled among the humans. Rena's cheeks flushed a deep, visible crimson under her fur. Her pride, an inheritance from generations of fierce Nkari warriors, bristled inside her. She squared her shoulders and bared her fangs in a forced smile. "Today was a warm-up," she said smoothly. "The real hunt begins tonight." Vance smiled, but there was a spark of challenge in his eyes. And just like that, Rena Grovane knew she couldn't afford another mistake. Her people's honor, and her own dignity were at stake. Later that night, the deep jungles of Varelia were alive with the sounds of nocturnal predators. The humid air hung heavy with the scent of flowering vines and wet stone. Rena led the Earth delegation through the undergrowth, moving with fluid grace atop the thick branches. Her fur was freshly cleaned and groomed to a perfect sheen. Every movement was precise, deliberate. No more clumsy accidents. Above all, she would show them the strength of the Nkari. She would show him. Kellen Vance followed close behind, surprisingly agile for a human. His eyes never seemed to leave Rena, not in a way that made her skin crawl, but in a way that made her senses prickle. Annoyingly attractive, she thought. If only he didn't look so amused all the time. "The prey is close," Rena murmured, nose twitching. This wasn't just any prey. She had chosen tonight's target carefully. A Veilcar, a massive beast revered and feared across multiple star systems. Capturing one was considered a near-mythic feat. Doing it with humans watching would seal her legacy for generations. "You sure you can handle it this time?" Kellen asked in a low voice, just for her. Rena froze. "Is that a challenge, human?" "Merely an observation." His lips curled into a teasing smirk. Rena's claws flexed. Oh, she would show him. The hunt. They found the Veilcar near a glistening waterfall, its serpentine body half submerged in the shallows. Iridescent scales shimmered against the moonlight. Its 6 eyes blinked lazily, until its nostrils flared, catching their scent. It let out a low, earth-shaking rumble. The humans gasped audibly. Rena didn't hesitate. With a feral shout, she leapt from her perch, sailing through the air in a graceful arc. Her bolus spun out, entangling two of the beast's limbs. The Veil car thrashed, hurling massive splashes into the air. The humans scrambled for cover, cameras recording feverishly. But Rena stayed locked in, muscles straining, mind hyper-focused. The Veil car lunged, jaws gaping wide. Instinct took over. Rena pivoted midair, slashing with her claws, and missed. The creature's tail whipped around, catching her square in the chest. She flew backward, crashing through a tree. Pain blinded her. Her breath came in wheezing gasps. "Rena!" Someone shouted, Kellen's voice. She staggered to her feet. Her fur was a disaster, tangled and muddy again. Worse, blood-matted patches along her arms. Pride screamed at her to keep fighting. But survival whispered another truth. She couldn't win alone. The Veil car bore down on her, jaws ready to snap her in half. Suddenly, a blast of energy struck the beast's side. It reeled, snarling. Kellen stood on the riverbank, one of the Nkari ceremonial lances in hand. He threw another shot, this one aimed at the creature's legs, forcing it to stumble. "Get up," he barked. She did. Side by side, beast woman and human fought. Rena tangled its limbs again while Kellen harried it with the lance, distracting it. Their movements grew in sync, a strange, perfect rhythm born of desperation and mutual trust. At last, with a final cry, Rena hurled herself atop the creature's back and drove her weighted net around its head, pinning it. The Veil car collapsed with a ground-shaking thud. Silence reigned. Then the humans erupted into applause. Rena swayed on her feet, panting, her body a mass of aches and bruises. But inside a fire blazed. Hotter than pain, hotter than shame. She had done it. They had done it. After the hunt, the stars above Varelia glittered like ice chips scattered across black velvet. Rena sat atop a boulder, overlooking the river where the subdued Veil car rested in chains. Her fur was still in disarray, tangled, bloodied, stained. She should have been humiliated. Instead she felt lighter. Kellen approached, carrying 2 metal canteens. He tossed one to her. "You're welcome," he said, sitting beside her. She snorted, amused despite herself. "I had it under control." "Sure you did." They drank in silence for a few minutes. The jungle hummed around them. "You fought well," Rena said grudgingly at last. "You too," Kellen replied. "Even when you were, tangled and flushed." Rena growled low in her throat, but there was no real anger behind it. She shot him a side glance. "You realize," she said slowly, "saving me in battle technically makes me owe you a life debt. Is that so?" Kellen's eyes gleamed mischievously. "And what does that entail?" "Traditionally, either a ceremonial duel or a mate bond." He nearly choked on his drink. Rena laughed, a rich, throaty sound that startled even herself. "Relax, human. I'm not that old-fashioned." Kellen grinned, wiping his mouth. "Well, if you ever change your mind." She blinked at him. Was he flirting with her? Or just teasing again? Before she could decide, Kellen stood and offered her his hand. "Come on. There's a celebration back at camp. They're calling it the Hunt of Two Worlds." Rena hesitated. Pride prickled. She was a hunt mistress. Independent, fierce. And yet, she had fought alongside this man, trusted him with her life. Maybe, just maybe, there was no shame in sharing her triumph with someone else. She reached up and took his hand.